You need a great opener, like somehow we're adults. Do.
We can record that right
some
now.
Kind of like
we can record that right now.
Everybody be quiet.
Somehow we're adults.
Bow hunting is like you gotta be dedicated to it. It's not like a rifle. Like once you know how to shoot a rifle, like you basically just make sure your rifle's sighted in, and then like you're pretty good to hunt with it, because it takes a lot of the skill out of it. Like there's great rifle shooters, but like, I mean, you're talking like out further distances and all that stuff. But with a bow, it's like short distances are difficult. So you have to be really proficient with that bow. And I'm like, man, I'd love to get into that. And I'm like, wait, that sounds like another hobby that's just going to take a ton of time and commitment and money.
Was he
and
the
I'm
one
like,
sitting next to me yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Cody. Yep. And bro, I want to do it so bad, but in the same instance, it's like I've already got enough things that I'm doing. Like I do more things than I have time to do them.
Yeah.
Plus, you got to shoot like every day.
That's what I know that the level of commitment that it'll take to be good at being a bow hunter is going to be like every day when I get home, before I even like take my work clothes off and get changed or do anything. It's like grab the bow, sink 3 arrows, and just do it every day. You know, like maybe get my heart rate like crazy, and then shoot 3 arrows.
Yeah.
And then just do that every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Because it doesn't take much time to do it, but then you have to buy a nice bow. You have to have all the stuff to do it. I don't know. But it's the same thing with jiu-jitsu too. Now that I'm doing jiu-jitsu, it's like
Get that repetition down.
Yeah, that's why we bought the mats too. Is because I'm like, if we only do jiu-jitsu 2 days a week, it's our time that it's going to take to progress and get better is going to take a lot more than even if we just learn things on those 2 days, but we practice them the other 5 days, like you're going to see, because a lot of it's just committing it to memory. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know, man, it's just too many hobbies. You find yourself struggling with time?
Yeah, time management's key. I mean, there's some days where I don't want to do stuff, so I'll put it to the side, but there's some days where that to-do list is too long, so you just gotta kind of prioritize.
Do you make like a legit to-do list when you have stuff to do?
Every morning I try to, as I'm drinking my coffee, I'll try to write out, do my little square box so I can check it off through the day and try to get that fulfillment.
Yeah.
I try to do that every day.
Do you think that helps?
For me, it could be different for other people, but I like seeing my progress throughout the day. Like, okay, I'm ahead of schedule. I could talk a little more. I could go scroll on Instagram. Or there's some days where I'm like, ooh, I really need to tighten up.
I used to do a list thing like that similarly, where I would take like a piece of paper. My other friend Colton taught me this too. Is you fold it in 4s, and then you have 7 days, and then you have an extra day one on there, because you get 4 on the front, 4 on the back, 8, and then you basically make a list of everything you want to get done that day. Dude, I felt like it increased my productivity, but my problem with it is I'd put everything on there. I mean, even stuff that takes 5 minutes, which is part of the reason you do it, and it's good that you do that, because even if you just take the trash out, it's like, okay, it takes like no time at all, but it'll slip your mind. But it slip your mind, and like the more things that are on the list that you cross off, like it feels really good to do it. But I started to get like anxiety about it, because I would put like one thing on the list that was going to take a little bit more time, and it would take me 5 days, and I would just keep moving it to the next day on the list. And I was like, wow, this is, I don't know. I need to adopt it again and try and figure out another way to do that, because like you said, time management.
Right, it's key, man. It really is.
Because I don't know about you, but like there's just a lot of things in life I want to get done, and I feel like they all require a ton amount of time.
Yep.
And it's, how do you find managing that? Like, is that just the list thing, or do you like, because like I beat myself up too, where I'm like, I'm not where I want to be right now.
Yeah, there's some days where I'm like, if I know the next day's gonna get busy, I'll try to wake up an hour earlier, just try to get ahead of it, something like that. I try to do like a tiered list where I'm like, okay, this is my priority. I got to get this done before I do anything else. And then I'm like, as long as I get the priority stuff done, the secondary stuff, if that has to get pushed to tomorrow, I get pushed to tomorrow. Do you like number them? Do you do like number 1 is most important? I normally like put 3 things in priority, and then I skip like 2-3 spaces, and then build my next list from that.
Yeah. Now, do you have like goals and stuff like that? Because that's what I was referring to is like obviously I'd like to be a jiu-jitsu black belt, and I'd like to like go hunting, once a month, and bow hunting and like all these things. I'd like to do the podcast 7 times a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
with all your like activities and hobbies, you could probably even like get a plan and do like a weekly goal instead of like a daily thing. Like, okay, one of these days I got to do this. One of these days I got to do bow hunting, jiu-jitsu over here.
Bow hunting's I'm tabling that one for another time. So it's just gonna.
Same here.
Yeah, because it's just gonna be a money pit.
Everything is nowadays.
Yeah, but it's also too like one of the things like I value like the things that certain things do for me, like jujitsu.
Yeah.
Like I value that I'm learning a skill, and not only that too, my wife's learning that skill, and like it's a great equalizer as far as like hand-to-hand combat goes, because you can take somebody who's 120 pounds and get them to destroy somebody that's 250.
Right.
Like women, men, whatever. Like a technical woman that's 110 pounds can destroy me. And I'm a large man. Like
Kinky.
Okay. But no, I'm being serious. Like it's to me, it's so crazy because it's not like other martial arts. Like, watching fights, like striking wise, like you put Valentina Shevchenko up against an unranked heavyweight dude, and it's not an equal
We're
playing
gonna
field.
bet on Valentina.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every day.
We're betting on Valentina. I'm just saying, like at that point, you're getting put the house on the heavyweight
Or
man.
like a Zhang Wei Li. Like
Yeah.
one of those types.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're great, don't get me wrong, but there's something about the like testosterone and being a dude that higher bone density and all these factors that are just beneficial. And but when it comes to like jiu-jitsu, weight still matters, but like the whole reason jiu-jitsu was created by the Gracie family was because the father, I forget what his name was, but he was an incredibly small, frail man, and he wanted a way that he could like stay alive. Gracie family, yeah. The Gracie family, martial arts, well, so on and so forth. But basically, so that was the idea too. Like if you watch like UFC 1, like I watched the highlight came up the other day because it's been 30 years. The UFC's been since UFC 1, and it was Royce Gracie, which wasn't even the best of the Gracies. Royce Gracie literally went up against some dude that was clearly on steroids.
Yeah.
Clearly on steroids. And this other dude was a wrestler.
It's juicing.
Like, I think Royce Gracie fought 3 or 4 times that night. I want to say he fought 3 times. And within like 3 minutes of every fight, he had submitted the other person.
It's crazy.
And he was much smaller. There was
Yeah.
that was before they like split him out by weight classes.
Big size discrepancy.
It was insane.
Is it Carlos Gracie Sr.?
I have no idea. Was a Brazilian martial artist who was credited for being one of the primary developers of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, along with his younger brother Helio and fellow students Luis. It's very possible. I'm not sure, but I know that's kind of like the very, very
Like
That's
the
a
Godfathers
big
of-
family.
Yeah.
yeah. If they got the last name Gracie, bro, you better like
watch out.
Have a gun and a knife.
For real.
A lot of bullets.
Yeah.
Generations.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hell of a sport. You think you'll start doing it once your knee gets back together?
Probably not.
No? You have no... It's crazy to me how much you love martial arts and watching fighting and stuff like that. Like, what aspect of fighting do you like? Because I like the technical side of stuff, like seeing like what martial art is the best.
I really like all of it because each fighter's got a different way of like their path to victory. Like I love the strikers like Poirier, but then they can mix in the grappling when they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Submission artists are awesome because if they get knocked down, you're not gonna want to follow them.
Yeah.
I just respect it because there's so many different styles of it.
Yeah.
Where to boxing it's just jab, hook, but like mixed martial
boxing, that's what I was explaining to somebody the other day. Boxing is like milliseconds difference
agree.
from wins, but UFC it can be, you can send them like to Gapplebee's, bro. You can make a huge gap in skill level
No, I agree
just
with you.
based upon what martial arts you know.
Yeah,
Like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, bro,
right.
one of the best strikers alive, right? But he can get manhandled by like Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Or like, yeah, I mean that's why I started jiu-jitsu or wanted to start jiu-jitsu or martial art in general, is because like I know that the people that are really good ground fighters, they're typically the ones that they can dictate like what happens as far, maybe not so much in UFC, and most of the time it works that way in UFC.
Yeah.
But like self-defense wise on the street, like if someone's like gonna fight you, you know what I mean? Like if they're a great striker, you can just like them. They don't have a hold of you. They're not holding you there. You can just leave. You
Yeah.
can just run away.
Run away. Yep.
But jiu-jitsu is like, if you're getting ready to get in a fight with a legit boxer, and he like squares up, and you like, all you have to do is slip some punches and grab a hold of him, and you've just taken his weapons away.
Yeah.
And you just made him all of a sudden, he can still hit you, but it's decreased the range and the momentum that he needs and the space that he needs to maintain to do that.
right.
Biggest fear
And then you're in your world.
I would feel about going to the ground is if he has friends.
Yes.
True.
Yes,
Get
for
soccer kicked in the face.
for a
Yeah.
one-on-one.
Yeah.
For a one-on-one, jiu-jitsu is the best. No. If it's 7 versus 1,
Run.
You don't grab a hold of him, run away.
That's
Yes.
just Forrest Gump it.
Yeah, you got to be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah. But I mean, that's why it's important to be well-rounded, not just be too much into one thing.
Right.
Yep.
Send them that guacamole.
Yeah. Right. No, but that's what I'm attracted to too. Is like the seeing one martial art pretty much dominate most of the other ones. I like that too.
Yeah.
So you don't ever want to participate
I'm one of those
in a martial art.
Really, any sport. I'm just like I'm the type. I'm just sitting there with my drink and my food. I'm just like judging, like, oh, I would have did this, but I won't do it.
No,
Just watch it.
you have no
It's just-
desire to either.
Not necessarily. I'll
Bro.
still hoop. I mean,
That's
I'm a shooter,
crazy to me
but-
because like all that shit that I love, like
yeah,
everything that I like to watch, like jiu-jitsu, UFC.
That's
Well, I mean,
it.
obviously I don't want to participate in the UFC, but like there's a certain aspect. Like I love podcasts.
yeah,
I have a podcast.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I have to be involved in some type of way. I love watching cooking stuff. I like cooking. Like I don't know. Like I'm attracted to the things that I like do, like woodworking. Like,
yeah.
I'll watch the really good woodworking dudes like make cabinetry and shit like that. And like I built the table that this is, and you know, I don't know. I've always wanted to participate in stuff I'm interested in. But you look at it more of like an analytical side, maybe. Is that what you enjoy about it so much?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm one of those, like, in my free time, I'm just trying to chill. Like, if I'm working, I'm like, I feel like that's a lot of work to go do something like that.
Yeah. What do you think, Colton? Because like me personally, I just like to be involved.
Yeah.
I feel like it makes you understand the aspects of the sport a lot better if you train.
Yeah.
It's like just sitting back, like me, obviously I don't train anything right now. Like I understand a little bit just watching like the dynamics, but actually getting into it, I feel like I would have much more respect.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes
Bigger
sense.
respect.
Oh
for what
yeah,
they have to go
100%. Because like it's so easy to be like sitting there on like a fight night, like we
Sweep
do.
the leg.
Like literally, we're like eating wings and cheesecake and cake balls and shit, and we're like, oh, I'd have fucking thrown them in a triangle right there, and it's like, okay, would you have?
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah.
have?
through. As you try not to
No,
get
I
punched
would
in the
have.
face.
I would have been tapping already.
Yeah.
A big respect to what all those guys do.
Oh, 100%.
I couldn't do
It's
it. No.
crazy.
100%.
I'm not trying to get touched.
Yeah. No, it's fun to watch. I don't know. I'm just one of those people. Like I can't just be an innocent. Like I like hunting stuff, so I started hunting. Like I don't know. I
Yeah.
can't be an innocent. If there's something I'm interested, I'm like I want to do it. I want to do it. Me
Yeah.
now. My turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my thing is like my problem is like I'll see somebody who's like like the best at it. Like I'll watch like Gordon Ryan do jiu-jitsu and I'm like I want to be that level. And I'm like okay, that means the level of sacrifice you have to do to get to that level.
Right, that's all he
is, like,
does.
get rid of all the other things. You've never seen that dude? Gordon Ryan?
Yeah, I've seen, that's a submission guy.
Yeah. The submission guy.
monster.
That is a
The-
good way. He should put that in his bio. The submission
The
guy.
submission guy.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah. Yeah, he's insane. And he's like 27.
Yeah.
He's
I
like
think-
super young.
I think 27.
Yeah, he's like super young. 6'2".
218, 27 years old.
Yeah.
Is he ever gonna come to the UFC?
No.
No, they drug test.
He's enhanced.
Yeah,
Is a good way to put it.
that's fair.
Yeah. I'd say slightly.
But he's
No, bro, it's just chicken, rice, and broccoli.
hey, I don't hate the guy. He's a master at
it's
his craft.
chicken, rice,
and he
and
knows what
well,
to do.
to be fair though, to be
compete.
competitive in that
Yeah, you
sport,
have to.
I mean, it's just
like-
one of those things. If everyone's doing it, I mean, it's like Lance Armstrong thing. Everyone's
it's like
doing
being
it.
a
Just do it.
professional bodybuilder. If you want to compete in the Mr. Olympias and be the Mr. Olympia, you have to. There's no
Yeah.
other choice.
Just don't get caught
No,
Well,
they,
not even they just
they just don't care.
like
under the rug.
They're like,
Joe-
he's clean.
yeah, Joe Rogan, the smell test.
Yeah.
He's like, what do they do for a drug test in ADCC? Is it a smell test? Like, she's like,
Literally.
it doesn't smell like it. We're good.
I don't see any needle marks. He's okay.
Right. I don't know, man. I'm just so interested in participating. I don't know what it is, but like I know that like just so many things are like building a house or building a mountain out of layers of paint. You know, you just make one layer at a time. And it's like with the podcast, what did we do? The first one was like on my it was at Wyatt's house on his dining room table, and it was recorded just on the like standard microphones that are built into a Mac, and like took me 6 months before they were actually posted because I was
you were in a
like,
tree stand when I posted the first one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I remember it too because I was just like I was so nervous. I thought that I was going to immediately get canceled.
Yeah.
Immediately get canceled because I'm like, you know, you don't know what to expect. You know, you see like these big podcasters and like they say something and they're like, this Justin da 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 said da 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 and he's a racist, and it's like, okay, like that's a little extreme. But like, now it's being what it is, and if you continue to add things to it and make it better. So that's my thought with all of the things that I do is like, I want to be Gordon Ryan of jiu-jitsu now, but that's not feasible. And it's just one of those things I'm just trying to continually get better at all those things. And I'm naturally gravitating my time towards the things that I'm interested in. I think that's what you should do as an adult. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Do what you enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like too many people get strapped to a bunch of things. I've said this ad nauseum, but if you, I don't even know if I use that word right.
Hey, it sounded beautiful.
I
am digging it.
I'm not gonna argue against it.
Bro, I'd be reading Webster. You don't even know. But like one of the things I say is like so many people get strapped to a bunch of debt in their 20s, and they get in a job where they can afford that debt, and then they decide that they don't like that job, but they can't leave that job because they've been there for a long time. They've got tenure now there. They know how to do the job, but they hate it. And it's so hard to position yourself to change those things. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things I respect the hell out of people who will like take pay cuts to go do a job that they love, or I feel like life's too short to just work 30 years doing a job you hate just to get a retirement so that way you can then enjoy your life. Like, I don't want to. There's certain enjoyments in life that deserve to be postponed, like a cheat meal when you're like got to have a goal of like losing weight or being healthy. A cheat meal, you put it off to a certain time, right? Yeah. You delay that thing because it serves a purpose. And too many people do the same thing with their life though, but they do it with a retirement. They're like, okay, I'll delay doing what I want to do now for work, so that I can retire later. And I'm like, I do agree with that to a certain extent, but you can change things to set yourself up for that. And I'd rather live with less in life, like materialistically speaking, financially speaking. I'd rather live with less and enjoy more than to have more and enjoy it less. Because I feel like people in their 20s, they spend too much time buying things that,
don't matter.
That they lose when you buy something new, it feels good. That dopamine shot and that you get in the spike, and it feels amazing. Like, wow, I've been thinking about this. I gave them money. I got this thing I want. It's great, but it wears off. And to me, doing things never wears off.
Yeah, like an experience.
Yeah, like I love traveling. I mean, that's not just a me thing. That's like everybody loves traveling, right? But like, I like the idea that I can go on a vacation and like I want to be able to do shit that's like you have to be ready for, like hiking, like not crazy hikes, but like hikes where it's like you're going to be exhausted from it. And I like to be able to go do those hikes and be like fine afterwards and still be able to hit a workout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've always, like, when I think about like what I desire as far as like a look, body shape and everything like that, I want to be, Jesus Christ. Do I sound raspy?
Yeah, very raspy. Get a little drink of that water.
Yeah, but what I desire, oh, there we go. Clean. What I desire is to be built like an athlete, so that way I can do athletic things, because then you're kind of suited for all things in life. I don't know. What about you, Dylan?
As far as what I want to do, or is like my body?
Well, I'm talking
like loaded question.
I'm talking about like philosophy wise. Like, what's your like philosophy on life? Because clearly you don't have a typical job. You don't have like you don't like go to the office, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 kind of thing.
I agree with that. You should do what you do. Definitely take a pay cut if it means you'll be happier long term. I'm just like, I enjoy what I do, so it doesn't feel like I'm working. Like, so when it is time to go do stuff, I feel like I can do it when I want. In terms of scheduling, if I don't got too many primary things on my checklist, of course. Mm-hmm. But yeah, live your life. I mean, it sounds like cliche, but like, what's your philosophy on as far as like doing what it is you want to? Do you feel like you actually work? Like, yeah. Like, do you feel like you have to force yourself to do it? With certain things, like I feel like my sports like job, as far as like watching the stuff and getting content out for that doesn't feel like work to me. But there's days of like the social media business where I'm like, okay, I got to tailor to this. This client wants this out right now, to where that feels like a job. And then I do the schoolwork part-time. There's some days where, depending on the day, it could be a tough day. But for the most part, all three are where I enjoy doing it, to where I'm like, there's more good than bad. So yeah, I'm chilling. Yeah.
Colton,
Yes.
what do you think about all that stuff? Like, what is your like philosophy on work and shit like that?
I'm definitely not one of those people that I like the weekends, but I also want to enjoy. I want to do my 40 hours or whatever your job is. Do your job. Don't slack at it, but I don't agree necessarily that you have to give everything to your job, especially if that job isn't something you absolutely love. So I enjoy my my nights off. I don't do much overtime. And I like to live in the moment, and whatever that moment is for you in the situation, just especially with a partner, just do things you can do together, and go from there.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of what I try to do in life is command it in the direction that I want it to go. Because I feel like if you let life happen to you, then you're never gonna get what you want out of it, and you kind of like. There's tough times where I'm like, man, I really don't like. I look at it like going to the gym. It's good for you, but like, how many times do you just get to the gym and like you sit in your car outside of the gym and you're just like, fuck, I don't want to.
Every single time.
Not every time. There's some times where I get there and I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to hit this workout. It don't come that often. Most of the time, it's like me sitting there and I'm like scrolling Instagram for 15 minutes outside of the gym, just like fuck.
I legit pull up and I'm like, how far is Chick-fil-A from here? Like, can we fit that into the schedule instead?
Yeah. Well, that's a side note. That is another reason I enjoy like fitness, like doing a martial art and like basketball, is because anything that gets you to where it's like a workout but it's fun. Like the more of that shit you have, the healthier of a lifestyle you're gonna live.
You don't really even see it as a workout. It's just having fun while exercising.
That's what I loved about basketball. You play for an hour and you're good. Like,
right, that you could burn 1,000 calories. I mean, there was times where we were burning 1,200 calories playing basketball.
You don't even realize it. You're just moving.
Bro, we haven't played in forever.
In a minute.
I used to have a basketball in my car, and I would just like stop and play by myself.
I had one in my car whenever
bro
we were at Crazy Cup that day.
You don't want the sauce, Dylan?
I do.
Bro, I once your knees fully back, I'm down to play some basketball.
It's good cardio.
Yeah. Oh, it's great and just in general.
I think we're tied 1-1 in our series against each other.
Yeah, because we played twice that day, and I really focus on like long cardio. So
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. But like, there's things I do to make sure that I can do those things appropriately. Like for basketball, a lot of it is like we can play for an hour. Like it's like watching UFC fights. They always talk about like the 5-round fight versus the 3-round fight, like it being such a drastic difference. And I'm like, that's why I do such long cardio. Like, probably today I'm probably going to do a 4.5 mile run, and that's going to suck. But it sets me up to where when I play basketball like that, that gives me that competitive edge where like when you guys get tired, I'm like, hey, I live here. I've been at this spot all the time. Yeah. Like, yeah, I'm in the same position you guys are, but I have more to go. And then weightlifting too, that's another thing too, just for joints and stuff like that. What kills me is I used to be so good about going to the gym like at least 4 days a week. Yeah. And like recently it's one of those things, it's like once or twice every 2 weeks, and I really like I hear this like nagging voice in the back of my head like, you gotta go do it.
Shouldn't you be in the gym right now?
Literally. I'm like, hey man, it's been like 3 days and you haven't lifted weights. Like the other day I did back and biceps, and it wasn't even that hard of a workout. That was Tuesday. Today is Sunday. Right? So this has been like almost a week ago. My biceps, like the tendons in like my elbows from doing curls, are still sore. And I'm like, I know that the more you do it, the soreness might last a day.
Yeah.
That's one reason why I quit the gym, which I've been going to the gym for 10 years since I was 15. So that was a big thing for me. But I got a home gym now. So literally I get home from work, immediately work out. Yeah. Just make it a habit. 3 days a week. Got a good program going. Got dumbbells and a bench.
Are you doing the Athlete Next program?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like it?
Yeah.
Have you noticed like any good results?
Since I've started it, I've stopped and started it so much because we got the house. I haven't really been able to dedicate the full time I need to it. I've restarted it probably 3 times. Yeah. I'm probably going to do that again, just so I can get back in the actual rhythm of it. Yeah. But I love the workouts. They take me probably 30, 45 minutes, and I'm destroyed afterwards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Athlete Next, the way he sets them up, too, it's like you get, like for this day, you get a minute rest between each set, but then the next day you get 30 seconds between each set. Yeah. And it's like...
full
your like
body.
heart rate's jacked, and he's like, all right, now lift weights now. And it's not like okay, just do curls. It's like, okay, like at least the one that I have, we both have different Athlete Next programs that we purchased. But like the one I have, like you'll do like these squats where at the bottom of the squat you do like a curl, and then you come up and like as you stand up you do like a shoulder press, like, and like dude, you do 12 of those, and then you have 30 seconds between 20. Like it's bad,
The one
bro.
I'm doing is the Total Beast, I think is what it's called, and it's a total body, it's a full body split. So you're doing everything every day. Basically, you always do like a main, upper, and you always do legs.
Yeah,
And
that's probably a pretty good workout.
It's really good. I have to tailor it a little bit because I don't have a barbell. So
Which
or a cable machine.
with dumbbells you can do most things. Dumbbells and
The
resistance.
hardest thing is doing hip thrusts. With a dumbbell, it's just a little awkward.
Yeah, because what do you take one and like center it on your hips?
Yeah, you have to put it a little bit in the middle of your thighs because you can't really go down too far with it, but it works.
You can elevate your legs too. That makes a huge difference for hip thrusts. Like,
That's probably the biggest struggle.
Yeah.
Because I can do goblet squats and all that other stuff with dumbbells.
Yeah. I want to get his like zero program, the one that
Yeah.
requires like literally I think it's just a pull-up bar.
Yeah.
That would be tight.
Yeah.
But even pull-up bars like a hard to, you gotta have space for it and shit.
Yeah. I like the one I have. It's got the dips and push up on it as well.
I've been really trying to dial in my nutrition.
That's the hardest thing.
Mm-hmm. Like when I did carnivore for like a month, and bro, I couldn't. I could have continued doing it, but I started to hate eating. Like when it would when I'd be hungry, I literally would be like, I don't. Like, it's like here's eggs and beef.
Woohoo.
That's so sad if you don't look forward to eating.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite.
It's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
And I enjoy food, and Cody, carnivore works great for, because he literally says like if he could buy dog food, he would just buy dog food, like for people. They made people version of dog food where he just gets like a scoop in the morning, scoop at night.
I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
Honestly.
You should do carnivore then. And
Well, if I got into it and started it, I know I would be able to do it. It's just doing it
Yeah, starting any of those things is the hardest.
it's
thing to
super
do.
easy to start doing. You just buy meat
and cook it.
and just plan on eating it.
I just hate cooking, so that's the biggest thing. But I got a grill now, so just
You
grill a little bit.
and your significant other should do it together. Dude, Cody's lost like 40 pounds in like 6 months.
He definitely looked a lot thinner last night.
Yeah, he's lost a ton of weight doing it. But like, I literally I would cook a ribeye, and this is how I knew that it wasn't gonna like be a long term solution. And I know that whatever I do to lose weight has to be a long term solution. And then I knew that like when I cook a ribeye, because I was buying like a bunch of ribeyes basically. And you can get them, if you buy them in bulk, you can get them at a decent price. And I would like cook a ribeye and some eggs, and I would just like look at it and I'm like, I have
want it.
no desire to eat this.
Yeah.
I would cook like a chuck roast, and it would be like shredded beef, and I'd look at it and I'd be like, I guess I just want to eat lunch today. I'll just wait until eventually it's like I look at it like a dog. Like, you're gonna be hungry enough to where you're going to eat it at some point. So I don't know. It worked great. I lost like 10 pounds in a month. Yeah. Like it really is a good thing. Like, and I think what I'm gonna start doing is like alternating months. Like do a 1 month carnivore. And the good part about carnivore, you can eat fruit. Yeah. But like do carnivore with fruit and meat, and then alternate that, and then go to like I've been really doing a lot of like chicken and rice, or like beef and rice. I don't really enjoy vegetables that much. No. I like mixed in with things, but and occasionally I'll crave salads, and I'll do some salads, but for the most part I've just been doing like a meat and like a little bit of rice and mix it in, and then I've been doing wraps too. Trying to make as high protein as possible.
Rotate those, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start counting calories for a month, and then like have be in a caloric deficit on average, and then do carnivore for a month. Because the good part about carnivore is you really you can't eat enough.
Yeah.
Like you can eat as much as you want. Like a ribeye, like a 1 pound ribeye is like 1,300 calories, but you eat that and like 4 eggs, and you're stuffed for like a while.
Yeah.
And when meat or fruit is your only option, it is so hard to get fat by eating those things.
Yeah. I definitely am gonna look back into carnivore, and I just gotta pull the trigger and do it. That's just my biggest thing, is starting.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Just go to the grocery store and be like, I'm just gonna go to the meat department, and I'm gonna go, what meats do I like? I like sausage. I like chuck roast. I like steaks. I like ground beef. With ground beef, you can do hamburger patties, meatloaves. You can do just straight up cooked ground beef. You could do chicken too. Chicken doesn't have a lot of fat, so you have to try and supplement it with fat.
Yeah.
Different stuff like that.
Yeah, gotta start meal prepping every weekend and get my lunches, because the biggest thing for me right now is my work provides a free buffet style lunch, which is so hard not to stuff my face every day with.
Yeah, free buffet. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
It's not even that good though.
It's really not. I mean, it's for the price of free. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's worth what you pay for it,
yes.
for sure.
And yeah, just getting back into meal prepping is going to be the hardest part.
Yeah, but even there, you can do carnivore. It's not as easy, but like I mean, it's so beneficial as far as like for weight loss and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But my thing is I look at whatever I do, it has to be a long-term solution. So I could see myself doing carnivore where I alternate a month, because then I don't get bored of it.
Yeah.
And I have to keep I have to have variety in my food, and Cody's less like that.
Yeah.
You know, so it works better
I'm a
for
big
him.
sweets guy, so I love sweets.
Yeah.
So that would be the hardest part, is like ice cream last night. I love me some ice cream. I love me some cake balls. My fucking girlfriend.
And you can still have those things.
Yeah.
You can still have those things. You just limit them. Like
My problem is if it's there, I eat all of it.
right. And I like when I did carnivore for a month. Every Saturday we went to my mother-in-law's house and we had Mexican food. Right. Like that's not something.
that woman.
That's not something I wanted to give up. So like I still did that, but it made it. What I liked about it is like I would like I'd go to like look at work. They would do like, I don't know, fucking coffee day, and they bring in pastries, or they do Italian day, and like everyone would bring in pasta and stuff like that. And I would still have to like, there was days where like they had like a thing where like all the food looked delicious, and I still just pulled out my lunchbox and I just microwaved some hamburgers that I made and just had hamburgers and a banana. Like
Yeah.
it was just,
Yeah.
and I was like, but the reason I could do that was because I knew in my mind, I'm like, eat this now so that Saturday I can eat what I want and fully enjoy it. It made like eating outside of the diet so much more enjoyable if I postponed it and did it once, because then it was like I could walk into my mother-in-law's house and just be like, oh, I can eat as much as I want, and no matter how, I can only fit so much in my stomach and feel so sick, and it still won't even make that huge of a difference.
Yeah.
Granted, the shits become hellacious
Oh my
whenever you
gosh.
do that.
But her food, though, that woman is
Yeah, she does. She do be doing right. Yep. Yeah. Dylan. So what are you doing now as far as sports
Always
content goes? Because
chilling.
I could keep going.
Tacos.
Yeah. So what are you doing as far as sports content goes? Because the very first time you did the podcast was, a little bit more than a year ago.
Shout out to our year anniversary.
Yeah, and things were much different then. So
Yeah, I think
talk
that's my 5th time on the Somehow We're Adults podcast. So
talk
it's
to
an
me.
honor.
Talk to me about what you're doing.
But originally, I was a part of an Instagram community called Fantasy Football State of Mind. I recently rebranded just because with fantasy football, I was covering so much more than that. But I didn't want to ruin like their target audience, because I also cover NBA, MLB, UFC, as we know, and now college season, college basketball, college football. So I wanted to kind of rebrand. So I have one called Dylan Does Sports now, where I try to just tailor all that stuff now, completely free on Instagram. We have a Discord, not the most active, but you can join if you want to. But really just the Instagram content that leads to like the daily fantasy. There's these apps called Prize Picks and Underdog that you can use to make an income off that, as well as like the sports betting.
So would you say your primary thing now is focused on sports betting?
For the sports itself, yeah, I would say that I just try to put out as much Instagram content as possible to where it's still a mix of quality and quantity. But the main business still is the social media biz, just because that's like the safest as far as income. Like I know at the end of the day I have these clients.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
as far as sports, yeah, it's definitely just Dylan Does Sports for right now.
Yeah. Have you? I mean, because one of the things we talked about in the past was you starting a podcast
Yeah.
for that kind of stuff. Are you still like toying with that idea?
It's one of those things we talked about, like bow hunting. It's just like trying to find enough time in the day. Like I would love to do it, but I'm just like, do I got time to set it up? I know editing takes forever.
We don't really edit much, do we? The part that
the worst part is the drunk podcasts, because there's so many pee breaks.
yeah,
But
he's not lying.
Literally, that's the worst part of it.
Yeah, the ones where
It
we're
take-
drinking and stuff.
Like
yeah.
this one will take me an hour.
Yeah.
And that's
And
all of it.
the
Right.
reason it takes so long is because the moving video files.
Yeah.
That's
True.
the majority of it, right?
Yeah, just getting
Downloading
upload and
the
all
video
that.
from the card. Because
Yeah.
the camera's a little bit older. takes probably a good hour.
It's
2
not that it's
hours.
older; it's that it's a Sony,
Yeah,
which
the format of it.
yeah,
Right.
You have to transition it. It's long
Yeah.
story short. But like if you just did an audio only version of your podcast,
Super easy.
Yeah.
yeah. But
That's true. You don't have to necessarily show the visuals.
Well, what I think about with as far as like here's me thinking through what you do.
Yeah.
Like most social media now, at least on Instagram, is videos.
Right.
And like I feel like if you took the same content that you're posting and then like if you instead made it into a video format, and then just posted the videos, like if you just did more videos, I feel like that would help your
Yeah,
social
I've been
media
trying
a
to
ton.
do more reels in terms of like if I'm talking about a certain player, I'll get their highlights in the background to where it's playing in the video, and that's been cool too.
But
I
for
can try different
you
ideas.
wouldn't even, I don't think, need like this kind of setup.
Nah.
You could just use your phone, get like the earbuds with the mic on it and just use that, and it's all in one.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, he's already got a microphone and a recording thing.
You know what I'm saying? If you didn't want to go through the whole like
The whole
audio
process.
video setup,
You could use because you have a Mac, right?
Yeah.
I say you could literally just use the camera on your Mac and
mic.
and just use this. You can use this as an external mic on the laptop, so you can get expert quality audio, and then you can record straight from the computer, and you could just do it like that.
and there's no
Yeah.
splicing, no putting audio and video together.
I'm just thinking of a way that because video content gets shared so
It does,
much
yeah.
because it's pushed so heavily on like Instagram and TikTok
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Just thoughts.
No, that's a good idea.
Because you don't have to do a legit podcast where you take an hour and talk about something. You could just do something every day where you talk about like the most recent things.
Yeah.
And that's what like the UFC people that I follow that post their stuff. It's like this just in Israel Adesanya.
Yeah.
Early
That's one of the things
stoppage or no?
Like with my work, like I do my content creation at a coffee shop, so I'm just like, and when I have free time, I don't have time to record, so I'm like, I would have to do it there, and I'm just picturing myself in a coffee shop, like recording off my phone, like,
Hey guys,
and these poor people are trying to do like a Zoom meeting or something.
Right. Well, ooh, Jesus. What about if you did like if you did it like first thing every morning?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like right before, like right after you get dressed, like you've got your shit to like go, and you just record something real quick, and then when you get there, you just post it, or you have.
Yeah.
You
By
can
then,
edit
I'd
it.
have to figure out what the content is, though. Like, I'd almost have to like pre-work on it the night before, to where it's like I can't wake up and just like, oh, I'm gonna do this.
go in the bathroom real quick, sit on the toilet, record it. and
Yeah,
then come back
reflect.
out. Yeah.
Yeah,
At
it's
the
just one of
coffee
those
shop.
like having enough time type
Yeah.
things. Like it'd be cool, but I'm doing good without it right now. So
Yeah.
I'm just like maybe down the road experiment with it.
Yeah.
I look at social media, and it's like all my social media is videos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because that's what the algorithm is set up to promote videos.
Instagram wants to be TikTok so bad.
And I mean, they're not
They
doing bad at
basically
it. Yeah, they're not doing bad at it. Like I don't have a TikTok, and I just
Yeah.
use Instagram, and I still get to see like almost all the same content.
Yeah,
Because most people that are big on TikTok post it on both places.
Mm-hmm.
it's true.
So I was posting videos all the time on the podcast Instagram, and dude, like I started to get it makes me wonder if I hadn't stopped doing it, and I stopped doing it because I'm focusing on something else in the meantime. But once I do start back up on that, like I was seeing like insane numbers on the Instagram. Did I tell you about that?
Mm-hmm.
I was like getting like impressions. I was getting like 40,000 a month.
Yeah,
like it
it's
was an
amazing.
insane amount. Like for a Instagram page that had like less than 300 followers.
Right.
It was insane how much.
Yeah, the video content's in.
Yeah, and like I would just like, and it was just stuff that I thought was funny. I would like watch. The hard part's listening to me talk.
That is a hard
Tell
part.
me about it.
right?
Tell me
Air high
about it.
five, boom.
And you both showed up. But no, like hearing myself talk, I fucking hate it. But like going back and listening to a conversation I've already had is tough. I'm more of like I can have conversations as they just happen.
Yeah,
But like going back and listening to it, and then I would like hear parts that I like, and I just kind of cut that and try and edit it and stuff like that. I love doing that, like editing videos and shit. So much fun to me. And then posting that stuff and just letting it do what it does. It's a good time. Takes a lot of time though.
right.
But I could do it on my lunch break. I could do it before I go to work, after I go to work. Like I was doing it. I was disciplining myself, going back to that. The more you do it, the better you get at it.
Right.
I don't know about you, because you see all the videos that I make. Like the quality of them had gotten better and
Oh,
better and
100%.
better. Like
I
the
remember
more
when you first started using Premiere, you were like, "How do I start Premiere?" And
Right.
now you're doing really good shit with Premiere.
pretty much. Like I remember the first video I made was like a 15-second. No, it was like a minute-long video,
Yeah.
and it was Garrett Johnson's podcast. I remember that when he came on and did the podcast, and it literally took me 8 hours. to make one like minute long video, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was not good at all. Like the text that I added, the caption I added was like so shitty.
Yeah.
As far as like where it sat on the video and everything, and then I was like, the zoom was terrible. It was just so many
It's
different
always
things
like
was terrible.
it's almost like a humbling experience to see like where you started to
Yeah.
where
Real.
it is now.
Yeah.
It's cool though to see
I mean,
the
the
progression.
knowledge of the programs just between now and then is
Right.
huge.
Yeah.
And you learn so much over time. The
Yeah.
progression's so cool to see though.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is if you're planning to do video, just start now, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Start now. And that's the thing with jiu-jitsu too, is like in everything you start, you have to be a beginner
You
first.
should get ahead of it, yeah.
Yeah. Like
No one's gonna jump into it and know what's going on.
have you ever read the book Atomic Habits? Have you ever heard of it? That's one of the books that I've started reading and haven't finished. But that book, one of the things he talks about is like, he uses an example of like a college professor that was a photography teacher, and he split the class into like 50-50. And
Yeah.
50% of the class, they had 1 month and they had to submit one photo, and they would be graded off of that one photo on how good it was and everything like that for this photography class. The other 50% of the people, they were graded not on one photo, but how many photos they submitted. So like it was a quantity versus quality thing. The people, the part of the class that submitted one photo, all did way worse than the people that submitted as
Yeah.
many photos as they wanted.
Yeah.
Because there's something about like the people who did more photos, it was because they were practicing more. So their photos, by and large, like individually, were much better than the people that submitted one photo. Because the people that submitted one photo, they would spend so much time overthinking every little tiny thing,
Yeah.
and the other people were just like out there just going like, oh, I like this one, oh, this one's okay, but this one's better, da 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 da, and like it ended up being way better because they put, they put the practice in. Like you do a lot of writing,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
For like your sports stuff and stuff like that. Like if you nitpick yourself to death, you know what I mean? Because you're doing it all the time,
Right.
you're getting better and better at it. Like I love reading the stuff that you post
Right.
on social media. When you were doing the UFC write-ups,
Yeah.
those full like things, like I read it and I could hear it in your voice, and all I could hear it in your voice, it sounded natural the way it came out.
Yeah.
No, I'm being serious.
No, him. He was like,
I was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, like legitimately, like you were getting like really good at it because
Yeah.
like I read it and it was like we were talking. Like I could hear you talking to me because it wasn't like
right.
it didn't feel forced. You got like fluid
Yeah,
with
just
it
let it out.
because you were constantly working on it. And I feel like everything in life works that way. We're working out.
Yeah.
How many people don't work out because like I don't know how to? And it's like there's one fucking way to learn
You
how
have
to.
be a beginner. There's no choice. You have to
Yeah.
be the one in the gym that looks like they don't know what they're doing because you don't know what you're doing.
It's the only way you can learn what to do is by knowing what not to do.
You have to be, humble enough to ask somebody, "Hey, I
Mm-hmm.
need fucking help."
Yep.
Sit in the corner and watch someone for a second.
Literally.
Are you excited to get your knee back together so you can?
I'm so excited.
Are you wanting to start working out again?
I just feel like 2022 has been such a wasted year as far as that. Like, I tore it early March, and here we are mid-November, and I had to get another surgery tomorrow. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's been a lot.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
But when you look at it in relation to the into life and our age and stuff like that, you
Right.
still have so much more time.
yeah.
Yep.
It's just in the moment, You're
Yeah.
just like sitting here. I'm like, I get tired checking the mail.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited. Like, my goal probably this next upcoming year is to probably get below 200 pounds.
Yeah, you got this.
That's a fucking.
That's huge.
I haven't been under 200 pounds. Fuck. Middle school?
It was
Probably.
10th grade for me, I think, is when I broke 200 pounds.
Wow. Maybe it was high school. I really don't remember, but like that would be insane for me to get under 200.
Yeah.
But I also want to lift weights more too, which might, I don't know if that'll help or hinder that. I don't know.
It'll help.
Yeah. But I'm more considered, like I don't care how much I bench pressed. I'm caring like more about like what I like about weightlifting is the strengthening the tendons and the muscles and stuff like that, and the longevity health wise that it can give you. I don't care about being big or bulky or having big biceps or
Yeah.
You say that. See, I went through that phase. When I started lifting, I wanted to lift as much as I could because I saw there was a guy I used to train with that was huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, he's big. He's strong. He's big because he's strong. And so I that's all I wanted to do. And now that I've done it, it's one of those things like if you it's hard to get away from. Because
I have no desire to be big. I don't know if I've ever had. I think when I first started working out, I had a desire to be big, but like, I don't like the things that it takes away from.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's harder to like scratch between your shoulder blades when you've got big ass arms. You know, I'm being serious. Like, it's
It
just
is.
like
I love that example though.
No, really. Like
Yeah.
I can't fully get my right arm behind my back.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I've done so much damage to it already.
Yeah.
Just lifting heavy.
right. And you're more prone for injury when you lift heavy. You're less flexible. You're less like you. I care about mobility because like I like being able to do like behind the back shit when we're playing basketball,
Yeah.
or like, you know, having the strength in my knees to do, you know, different things and not have to worry about my knee exploding. And when you lift heavy, like you're putting a lot of pressure on your joints. And I don't know. The bulky look I have no desire to do that.
Like I'm strong, but like when I'm doing like physical labor stuff, I'm not as strong as other people are that do that all the time. Mm-hmm. Like I'm getting back into the functional strength. Before I was I'm lifting to get the number up, mm-hmm. and it was not as functional.
Yeah.
So getting back to the functional is big for me.
Yeah. I care about, I guess my thing is like usage of whatever it is I do.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to, like, if I don't care if I can ever bench press 300 pounds. I care like when I'm like doing physical activities, can I like get off the ground by doing a push up? Can I like, do I have the strength in my chest to like do other things? And I care about the combination of muscles together, not like their individual strengths. And I guess bodybuilding is mainly their individual strengths. I care more about functional fitness, like doing a full range of things.
I feel like in my situation, I was a product of my environment.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up in an old school bodybuilding gym. There was maybe 20 people there at one time. They had a mural of Arnold on the wall. Like my dad used to lift, and everybody there, that's all they did was lift to get the numbers up. So that's the main reason why I went down that road. But it's definitely not the best road to go down if you're not trying to compete.
Yeah. That's one of those things you have to completely dedicate your life to
100%.
be worth anything in it. Yeah. And I don't know. Functional fitness, it's basically, I look at that as like it's like brushing your teeth kind of thing. It allows you to, you know, eat food later. You know what I mean? Like that's the way I look at it. It's like a health aspect of it, and being built like an athlete so that I can do more athletic things because of the enjoyment I get out of doing athletic things like jiu-jitsu. Like I eventually want to start doing competitions. Like honestly, I'm just waiting for my shoulder to be better, and I'll probably start doing white belt competitions for jiu-jitsu. Problem with competitions is you got to worry about somebody snapping your arm or your ankle or, you know, shoulder.
I think the biggest realization for me was like I can bench press 315 right now, but I can't do 10 pull-ups.
Right.
So like the
like offsets.
Yeah, the offset of there is like I weigh 240. I can lift, I can lift the weight, but I can't lift my own weight up.
Yeah.
There's some problems there.
Yeah, and
That's one thing I'm working on.
And that's when I want to be able to do pull-ups.
Yeah.
I'd rather bench press less and be able to do like a legit pull-up.
Yeah.
And like do reps.
And it sucks being that because like I'm used to being one of the strongest people in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hate to be cocky like that, but that's what I'm used to being.
Yeah.
And going up, and I struggle doing 5 pull-ups. Like I can get them, but they ain't pretty.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just
Hurts your ego.
fuck.
Yeah. Hurts your ego.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't give a shit about that
I don't either, but
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand where that comes from though.
Yeah.
Because it's this, I try to be the least egotistical with things because I really don't need my ego to get away from me. I try to be a good loser, but I'm not a good loser.
No,
when
you're
it
not.
comes to like basketball and shit. Like I get mad whenever I don't perform.
Yeah.
I don't get mad at other people when they perform. When we play basketball, if you guys beat me, I'm not mad at you guys for winning. I'm mad at me because I know I could have done better.
Yeah.
That's the shit that makes me mad.
Yeah.
Like the time I won after we did the free throws for like 40 in a row.
And I couldn't make a free
and
throw.
You couldn't make a free
Yeah.
throw.
Did I tell you about that?
You told me about this,
Yeah, when we play basketball, just for anybody who's listening, when we play basketball, we make this thing where it's like to win the game, like we would play to 21, but it's 21 and a free throw to win. And I was so good about getting to the 21 points, but then when it got to the free throw, I put up like fucking 30
Literally,
free throws.
it was like 30 in a row. He
That's
would get to
so
21
tough.
and miss the free throw. And I'm still at like 10
Yeah.
And I'm just slowly getting my points back up.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was an hour literally after he got to 21.
And I'd miss every free throw.
Every single one. And I won.
That's crazy.
Technically, I won.
Yeah.
If we would have kept going, obviously he would have won. But
Right.
the
If
rule
we were,
set
if we didn't
had-
play that, well,
Yeah.
I purposely make stuff more difficult for myself so that way I can get better at it.
But the look on his face was just like, fuck.
Yeah, it's a long drive
I was
home at
so
that
mad.
point.
I was so mad. But in the same instance, I just love doing it. So
It was a good time. We had good,
I enjoy getting better
Good
at things.
exercise.
Yeah, I enjoy getting better at things. Like I'll whenever I'm doing jiu-jitsu now, I'll try and make like a goal for myself. Like if I go to roll with my wife, I'll be like, okay, I could, if I really wanted to, with my strength and size, and we're both basically at the same competency level of like what we know and everything like that, and I'm interested in it enough to where I can memorize the stuff and do the stuff and impose my will on her. But like I'll set a goal. Like I think one time we were rolling and I was like, okay, I'm not going to go for any submissions, no matter how like in my face it is. And I'm going to let her try to get a submission on me. I'm going to wait until she's like really like at the point where there's almost no return. And then I'm going to try and work out of it.
Yeah.
And just try and work on a defensive side of things. And so like I try to do that more often. And then like, let her pass my guard and get in full mount so that I have to work myself out of full mount from the bottom and shit like that. When after this podcast, if me and Colton roll, I'll probably do the same thing where I like pick a goal. Do you want to talk about some UFC stuff now, Dylan?
Let's do it.
Okay. Oh,
Where are we starting?
forever.
Where are we starting?
Last night.
Last night?
Tell them what happened last night, Dylan.
Fuck them up.
We all
Spoiler
got
alert.
together
Spoiler alert.
and watched UFC 281.
We all ate ice cream except for Dylan.
So
Thanks to Ryan.
We'll save the main card for the end. We'll talk about the prelims. The prelims were banging.
I missed these.
I didn't watch the prelims.
The prelims were fucking banging. It was a good ass night.
It did seem like there was a lot of finishes.
There was
Like,
a lot of finishes.
I don't remember seeing a single decision.
There was a couple decisions. But like the first fight, Carlos Ulberg versus Nikolai, that was a good one.
Yeah, he trains with Izzy and Hooker, so that's cool to see him win.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch any of this.
Jackson, it was a good decent
Montel
decision.
He sounds like
Trezano and Choi, that one they almost knocked each other
Yeah,
out.
that was
Oh, that's the
double
one where they
knockdown.
both. Yeah, they both
Double knockdown.
knocked each other down.
That was good. The next fight, meh.
That-
Frivola.
That Otman Altazar dude's pretty good, but he lost to Matt
Yeah, got knocked out.
to Dylan's boy Matt
Yeah,
Frivola.
we all met up for the regular prelims.
Yeah.
Petrovsky and Turman.
Is that the first one?
Yeah,
I don't
that's the
remember
first
seeing
one we
that
saw.
one.
Yeah, you weren't here yet.
Oh, your first one was Blanchfield and Molly
Yeah.
McCann.
Molly McCann,
Get-
Meatball
Aaron
Molly,
Blanchfield is a beast.
manhandled Molly McCann.
23
Meatball Molly.
years old.
So wait, she's unranked when that fight happened, and Molly's
Yeah.
number 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
She's gonna take her spot.
Yeah. So anybody listening, Molly McCann got basically put in a crucifix by Aaron Blanchfield,
In the first minute.
Yeah, and Aaron Blanchfield was just elbowing and because Molly couldn't really defend herself besides putting her face up against Aaron Blanchfield's like side, and then Aaron Blanchfield switched to a Kimura
Yeah.
and got Molly McCann in a Kimura, and she tapped
She's
out.
gonna be dangerous. Anytime you get a women's prospect like that.
Yeah. She literally said in her post fight interview too, which this is an unranked chick who just beat number 15 ranked, was like, I'm ready for Valentina. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, slow your roll.
Hey.
But
Okay. Let's take
you did good.
a
kid.
breath of reality. You did good.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
They got to give her someone like outside the top 10 next, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 23 years old, 4-0 in the UFC,
Pretty
it's
good.
pretty.
I mean, she's definitely she'd fight somebody that's close to rank number 10. I
Yeah.
imagine she just destroyed Meatball Molly, who's on a wrecking path.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you had Dominic Reyes and Ryan Spann. So
That
going
was a
into
funny story
what is
about how we missed this.
we
There's
completely
a
missed
very
that fight.
funny story.
So we started talking about the college humor video Batman versus Superman, and apparently half the people we were watching the fights with hadn't seen it. So we were like, "Are you kidding
Me
me?"
included.
We'd
We're like,
seen
I-
it, but it'd been years.
I had never seen it.
And so we pulled the video up and we watched it really quick. This is before the fighters even started
Yeah.
to walk out.
It
We
was
thought
a 5-minute video, right?
5 minute
5-minute
long
video.
video, and we thought we were going to like in the YouTube video and then go back to the fights, and it would be like just getting ready to start. And not only this too, I want to also preface this by saying Dominic Reyes had recently said in interviews like he completely changed his training style, and like you're gonna see the one you saw against John Jones
The
again,
best
like
he's
all
ever
this,
felt.
right? Like an amazing and this, that, and the other, and basically Dominic Reyes, I really like. He's a really good fighter. I mean, he's debatably beat John Jones.
Yeah.
And lost by split decision.
Yeah.
And
Close.
and so he debatably beat the GOAT, right? And that was the GOAT's last fight too. And you know, coming into this one, I'm like, you know, he's getting knocked out by Yuri Proska, who's now the current champion. He got didn't he get knocked out by Jan Blachowicz too?
Yeah.
So like the previous
Tough
champion,
strength of schedule.
right? Like Dominic had gotten, you know, he's definitely had some hard fights, but then he goes against Ryan Spann, who's also is he even? Neither of them are ranked.
No.
Damn, I didn't realize Dominic Reyes wasn't ranked
No,
anymore.
not
From
anymore.
number one contender to
Yeah.
not even
It's
ranked.
been a minute since
Oof.
he's done something.
That division's got a lot of movement. Oh, go back one, Colton. If you don't
Yeah, I
mind.
don't know what happened.
Okay. So basically, like, going into that, I'm really pulling for Dominic Reyes, and I remember I don't really know who Ryan Spann was, and you're like, okay, I kind of feel like he's gonna win this fight. And the whole reason we even went to that Batman versus Superman video is because Ryan Spann has a tattoo of Superman on his chest, and I made the joke like, hope starts with an H, stupid. Cause,
And I had no
'cause of the
idea what
video.
was going
Yeah,
on.
Yeah,
we were like, huh?
we were like dying laughing. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. But and we go back from watching that YouTube video, and it's just like Bruce Buffer's like, and the winner by knockout. And we're like, what?
Yeah, we're just like,
what?
what?
Hello?
How does the fight already over? I'm like, it was a 5-minute video.
Yeah.
It took us 6 minutes to watch it,
Yeah.
and they hadn't even started walking out
It
yet.
took Span a minute and 20 seconds.
Minute and 20 seconds had KO'd Dominic Reyes so bad that Dominic Reyes didn't even make it to the
official decision.
The official decision, yeah.
That was a confusing moment.
Bro, we're
That's
sitting there.
We're
We're
like,
like,
what happened?
how long were we gone for? Like, we thought we
Yeah.
just warped time. That was crazy. R.I.P. Dominic Reyes. He's still alive, but
Yeah. He's not a
Barely.
spirit. The spirit's dead.
he was so close to being champ. But that also makes you realize like how fragile fighters can be.
Yeah.
Like you can be
Once you
know,
get chinny, I mean, it's
he seems very
get
he's
touched up.
he seems like you just have to land one good
Span
punch
hit him on a
Dominic Reyes.
jab. It wasn't even a hook.
Yeah, it was just a
I
straight
mean, it
up
was a stiff jab,
Yeah.
but still, it's the elbow from Yuri put him out. Jan was a punch, wasn't it?
I believe so. That Yuri elbow was crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that spinning elbow. And the tower went falling, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. So then going to Brad Rydell, because Brad Rydell trains with City Kickboxing,
Yeah,
with Izzy and then
Hooker and Olberg.
because you thought he was going to win this next fight versus Renato Moicano.
Yeah, it was a coin flip. I didn't bet on this one, so I was just kind of just enjoying. But
very very close odds.
Yeah,
They
it was
gave
a
the
pick 'em.
slight favorite towards Renato Moicano.
Moicano had the best post-fight
the
interview
best
since
post-fight
Derrick Henry.
speech.
So
So
yeah,
good.
he won 3 minutes and 20 seconds into the first round. And I've said it before. I typically lean towards the person who's the better ground fighter. Brad Rydell is also he does a lot of wrestling, doesn't he?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
both pretty good wrestlers, grapplers.
Yeah,
But he's got more submissions, Moicano.
yeah. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and I don't know if Brad Rydell even does Jiu-Jitsu. A lot of wrestlers are really good about getting to the ground, but
Yeah.
once they get there, they don't know as much.
Right.
And Renato Moicano submitted him. Was it a rear naked choke?
I think so. He cranked him first, and then
Yeah, he got
it
him
was
in the
rear
chin.
naked.
Yeah, it was a rear naked choke because Brad Rydell was trying to get out of it and ended up pulling his arm underneath his
Yeah.
chin. Or was that Michael Chandler?
That was
We'll get there, yeah. But regardless, Renato Moicano won, and he just like Joe Rogan was interviewing him. He's like, Joe Rogan, I fucking love you.
Yeah. It was a bleep every other
Moicano
word.
wants money.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was almost as good as Derek Lewis's interview when
Almost.
Khabib and Connor fought
I feel
years
like
ago.
the post-fight interview was longer than the Ryan Spann Dominic Reyes fight.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And Joe Rogan was just laughing too. That was a really funny post
Yeah,
fight.
Rogan's like, where did this guy come from? He never talks like this.
That was a great fight to. I mean, all of those fights were like from the ones I saw last night were really, really good.
Yeah,
to,
it was a
to
good
get started.
card.
It
All
was a
the
very good
It,
card.
it really was. And then you would go to Dan Hooker versus Claudio
Puelas.
Puelos, who this is one of those ones where I'm like, okay, I slightly think that the person who's got the better ground fighting is going to win, right? This guy from Peru, Claudio
Yeah.
Puelos, or however you pronounce his name. And he had 3 wins by knee bar
Yeah.
going into this fight, and I was like, oof, like getting a hold of a leg.
Yeah.
That's bad news. And then he got a hold of Dan Hooker's leg, and bro, in the first round, Dan Hooker almost lost. Those
Yeah.
leg locks. Were
I just
getting-
love how
getting
calm and
tight.
composed Hooker
He
was
very
during that.
calm.
Yeah.
He's like,
And
"I seen
Dan
this."
Hooker did well, and then you could tell like Claudio Puelos, like he didn't have an answer to Dan Hooker in any way besides just doing leg
Yeah, he
locks.
couldn't stand with them.
No.
Yeah,
He probably dove for Hooker's leg like 40 times.
it was
every,
good.
Every shoot.
He started going for every time he'd go for Dan Hooker to do like a takedown, like the crowd would boo. They're like, "Stop
Yeah.
it!" and Dan
Yeah.
Hooker ended up like Keith Peterson had stood him up so many times because he would like go for a takedown, and Dan Hooker's like, I'm not going to the ground with him.
Yeah.
Just stand there and
And
look
Keith
at him.
Peterson kept standing him up, and then eventually he like got punched and he fell to the ground.
Yeah,
and,
Hooker kept doing the
He
body
was-
kicks.
He was kicking
Yeah.
him in the solar plexus.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Like
And-
3 times.
and
he
so
wouldn't
he would
get
follow-
back up.
follow
Keith
me.
Peterson's like, I've seen
He's
enough.
like, nope.
This is enough. This isn't a fight anymore. This is like a. You're
It's
being
cool
a
to see
bitch.
Hooker get back in the win column. Though,
Yes.
After getting the
He's
hardest schedule.
He's so likable.
Yeah.
He is.
One of the best fights ever to watch is Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker.
Yeah,
One of the best fights ever to watch. They like both go to the hospital afterwards. It's crazy.
that is.
Then you have Frankie Edgar's last fight, his retirement fight against Chris Gutierrez, which Chris Gutierrez was like, he was borderline crying the
Yeah.
entire time from the walk out to the
Yeah.
win to everything.
He just knew he was about to whoop on a legend. I miss that.
Yep.
Yeah. He
He did.
wrecked Frankie Edgar. Knocked him out cold.
That knee.
Yeah.
Was it a knee?
Yeah, it was a knee.
knee to the head to Frankie Edgar.
He probably had like 40 significant strikes in like 2 minutes, and then just
He was
That
so
knee was-
so
He's accurate.
crisp and explosive, dude.
Yeah.
It was that was an awesome fight. Chris Gutierrez, I think he got a big following after
Yeah.
last night because that was
you
that
beat
was definitely
Frankie
insane.
Edgar in Madison Square Garden.
Obviously, convincingly too. It wasn't like
Yeah.
they went to decision, split
Right.
decision. That was like a fucking destruction.
It's crazy for Edgar too. I mean, he 2006 is when he was fighting. Like he
Yeah.
had a long career.
Yeah.
So hopefully
Yeah.
no
Hats
one
off
like
to him.
hopefully he doesn't lose credit. Like,
No.
losing this end of his career.
Bro, he got slept too.
Yeah.
But he was cognizant almost
Yeah.
immediately afterwards, and he did a post fight interview
Yeah.
with Joe Rogan, and you know.
I'd be so salty if I had to do a post fight interview after I lost. Like I'm not trying to speak to no one.
Yeah. It is what it is.
It is what it is because you know he's
Like, you talking about you get mad at yourself, like if you lose. Like imagine Rogan, like, hey,
What happened? You're like,
yeah,
why are you like this?
and you know the fans voted this next one as fight of the night, Poirier versus Chandler, because that was definitely like
It was the fight
It
of the
was,
night for
it was
sure.
good.
yeah that and the odds were pretty even on this one.
Yep.
Dustin Poirier got the slight favorite.
Yeah, Poirier, he was the 2-1 to start, and then people started betting on Chandler throughout the week.
Yeah. Chandler trains so explosively, but I wonder if he just doesn't train martial arts enough. I don't know. I hardly see him training martial arts. It's mostly like lifting weights and doing explosive weightliftings.
I just feel like he doesn't come with a game plan. I just
He
feel like he's
doesn't
like, I'm gonna
block
get
his-
them out of there.
He needs to block.
Yeah.
Like he just eats the punches.
He just comes in
Tell
like,
you what though, he does not have a boring fight.
No, he does not.
No.
He's entertaining.
he sells for sure. Put him on every pay per view.
Yeah, literally.
He hurt Dustin Poirier too in round one.
He did.
Yeah.
He hurt Dustin Poirier. I literally was like, I mean, bro, we were
We
all
both- we were
standing.
like,
oh,
Yeah.
and
But then Poirier almost finished him at the end of that round.
Yeah.
yeah, and then he said if Michael Chandler hadn't have thrown looping punches, had he
Yeah.
thrown straight punches,
probably would've
Probably
finished
got
him.
me.
then Dustin literally was like, I probably wouldn't have made it out of that round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like Poirier's the same way. He isn't getting boring fights.
No.
No,
Like he normally takes the first round off to kind of get everyone's movements, and then the rest it's on.
Yeah.
yeah, that was a great fight. Michael Chandler, like his nose like exploded. Did you see that slow mo where Dustin Poirier punched him in the nose and you see like blood just
Yeah.
like explode out the other
Like,
side?
Chandler was on top of him, I think, in round 2, and then the blood clots from Chandler's nose came out and just poured all over Dustin.
He spit him
Yeah.
out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Because he like sucked him up through his nose and
Yeah.
just like spit him on Dustin Poirier. It was
That's
disgusting.
so-
Like, it was
yeah,
like
that's gross.
dripping
Like
down
two
Poirier's
solid,
chin.
like 2-inch,
Like globs.
3-inch
Oh,
blood
it was so
clots. It
gross.
was great.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
What did you guys think of Chandler pulling Poirier whenever he was trying to get him for the submission? What did you guys think of that?
I mean,
I
in
feel
the
like
moment,
it was probably
he
accidental.
probably didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
It was probably accidental.
It's one of those things.
I was thinking that too because like the refs watching it. Like
Yeah.
if the ref didn't call it,
Yeah.
probably wasn't that crazy.
He
Yeah,
might
but
have
then-
been
but
just
then
trying
didn't-
to like lift his head.
Yeah.
With his hand and
Didn't
cause-
Chandler like grab the fence too at some
Yeah.
point, or was that Poirier?
No, it was Chandler.
It was Chandler.
Yeah.
And Chandler was grabbing
Just a
Poirier's
little
glove.
bit. Yeah.
Like inside the glove.
I mean, it would be hard not to in
Yeah.
that situation. You know what I mean?
Instinct.
Yeah.
Right.
Get a hold of anything you can.
So real quick about Poirier, I was reading up on how the presser went last night, and Dana White's talking about Poirier versus Dariush next, and then the winner is the number 1 contender for lightweight.
Ooh.
That's
Poirier versus
busted.
Dariush would be,
Who do you think wins? I'm
I don't know.
going fucking
Dariush?
Dariush.
It's one of
all
those things,
day.
like,
I
you would-
love Dustin Poirier, but
Dariush is a motherfucker.
he's got Dustin Poirier's definitely got the better stand up.
Yeah,
But
But Dariush
Dariush is no slouch either when it comes to stand
I
up.
agree.
Dude, he rocked Homeboy.
Yeah.
The last punch.
Yeah,
The last
You're
fight
talking
he
about
had.
Beneil Dariush,
Yeah.
whoever, I forget who he fought.
Yeah, but I think it was him. He had that left hand on the dude, almost knocked him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like Beneil Dariush.
He's
I
an
feel like he
underdog
doesn't
every
get,
time when he wins.
he does not get the credit he deserves.
No, he doesn't. I don't know if it's because that injury layoff, but like he doesn't even get talked about in the division, even after he just won.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's because he's really religious too. You never know. I don't know what makes it happen or not happen, but he's not like a Colby Covington character. You know what I mean?
Marketable.
Yeah, he's like super respectable.
That'd be a great fight though.
Bro. I
your
would
money.
I would give my nod to Beneil though, because Beneil's ground game is so good to do what he
Yeah.
did to Tony Ferguson, and he just. Yeah, he's a like, to say that him and Dustin are both black belts in jiu-jitsu is like it feels like you're saying
Yeah.
they're even, but they're not.
Yeah.
It's just with Poirier, he gets in a war every time and he just comes out on top. Like it's just I don't know who to pick in that situation.
He's more calculated.
Yeah,
For sure.
I love that. I feel like as a UFC fighter, that's so undervalued.
I feel like you haven't seen somebody who has great leg locks go against Dustin Poirier though.
That's a good point.
And Beneil Dariush is really good with the leg locks.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know if Dustin will have an answer for that, but that could be that's main event. That needs to be main event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Michael Chandler. So Michael Chandler ended up losing in the third round, which I am still surprised it made it to the third
Yeah.
round.
Very surprised.
Michael Chandler dominated the second round too, because he basically had Dustin Poirier's back the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he controlled it. It
Yeah.
was tied going to round 3.
Yeah, and Dustin Poirier had the slight. I mean, first round was close, but I think Dustin Poirier ended up getting that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And then so it was up to the third round, and Dustin got Michael Chandler's back and didn't
Yeah.
do what Michael
As
Chandler
Chandler
did.
was taking down Poirier,
Yeah.
transitioned.
Turned into it. Yep. And then Michael Chandler tried to get away,
So
grabbed his
clean.
back, got him in a choke, rear naked choke. Fight of the night for sure.
Yeah,
that fight
it
was
was good.
amazing.
Yeah.
Everyone was standing on their feet for that one. And then Carlo Esparza versus Zhang Weili. I honestly don't remember what submission it was. Was it a choke as well?
I want to say it was I think she cranked her.
It was a crank that turned into under the chin and she
Yeah.
tapped like super quick.
Yeah.
As soon as she got under
Weili
the chin,
dominated.
She tapped.
Yeah, Zhang Weili, good too.
Yeah.
I do not enjoy watching Carla Esparza fight.
No.
I really do not. She's
Yeah.
a good wrestler. That's
Yeah.
really what it is.
Yeah.
Carla Esparza is a good wrestler, but
But when you're going against someone who lives in Nagano for a living,
Zhang Weili.
Weili put that
Zhang's
pressure,
gonna-
and I don't think Esparza likes the pressure.
Yeah, Zhang Weili she's really well rounded.
Yeah.
I think if her and Rose rematch, which I think is very possible, I think that Zhang Weili would probably beat Rose.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Zhang Weili wants it more than anything.
Yeah.
And I feel like Rose wants it too, but I feel like that head kick isn't going to happen again.
Right.
Yeah.
That happened in
good
the first
point.
fight. And then the second time, didn't Rose ended up winning by decision?
split decision.
Yeah, split decision. Yeah, it was very close.
Yeah.
And then
The main fight.
Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira, which
It was a good fight.
It was good.
the
First round, man.
that fight it was
first
probably in my experience one of the most enjoyable Israel Adesanya fights.
It was good.
He's so
He seemed very challenged.
He's so
Yeah.
crafty. The next second one I would say is the Costa fight when he just mowed Costa.
Yeah.
Robert Whitaker was a good fight too. The
Yeah.
second Robert Whitaker one.
Yeah.
That was really good too. It was very, very technical. Izzy's second to like nobody when it comes to the technical striking.
Yeah.
He's just
so
so
precise.
so like his feints and his head movement. How many like knockout punches did Izzy slip
Right.
from Alex? I mean, Alex was just trying to land those, and
Yeah.
Izzy's like,
I
"Whoop,
think
you
the
missed."
biggest
Whoop,
thing that
you
credits
missed.
Izzy is his length and his height, which Pereira had both of those over him.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
was huge.
There was like it was Izzy fighting Izzy is
Yeah.
essentially
Yeah,
what
this
that
is
taller,
the first
longer
fight
Izzy.
Izzy's gotten touched
But
in the
it-
UFC.
But Alex is less technical than Izzy, but has much more power.
Yes, much
Agreed.
bigger,
But
much more power.
It was the end of the first round.
2 seconds left. Izzy rocked it.
Izzy put Alex on skates.
Yeah, he was wobbling.
In the
If
last
there
2
was
seconds.
10 seconds
Saved-
left, it would have been over.
Izzy would've
Saved,
retained.
saved by the bell.
Yeah.
If there had been another 20, 30
Pereira
seconds.
recovered really well
did.
though.
Yeah, he
I
did.
thought
He
he was
come-
going to come out wobbly in round 2, and he was fine.
good.
No, he came up fine in round 2. And then they did that trick where they like left
Yeah.
ice on the mat.
That was-
Oh, we
that
gotta clean it
was
up.
the
Yeah.
start of the 5th round, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah,
It
but
was one of them.
I wasn't surprised. But then so going into the 5th round, we're literally like we all knew Izzy had won.
Yeah, he was up
He had won the
3-1.
fight.
He had
If it-
won 3
if it
rounds
went.
out of 4.
He was
We're
up
like,
3-1.
Izzy just had to maintain. Which, granted, that's never with judges these days.
Nope.
That is not a good idea to just be like, "Oh, I'm up 3-2." You could or 3-1. You just never know.
Yeah.
So what pissed me off now that I started doing jiu-jitsu, and we talked about this before we started the podcast, I was showing you what Izzy should have done when he had Alex Pereira's back, was like put his hooks in, flatten him out, and start working the strangle.
Yeah.
And didn't fucking do it. Oh, that made me so mad. Because you heard me last night when I was like, what the fuck are you doing? He's just standing with a leg on each side. I'm like, what is the point of you being on his back if you're not going to utilize it?
He had his left leg hooked in, but his
Yeah.
right was just chilling.
Yeah, and he was like not holding his left one in at all.
Yeah, it was just there.
It was just like sitting there, and he wasn't. I don't know. For Izzy being either a blue or a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, I was like, bro, who gave you that belt? But no, Alex ended up winning the fight.
3 minutes left.
And Izzy, was trying to claim it was an early stoppage, but
It was not.
It was a good stoppage.
I mean, we were all standing there, and we're like, dude, it's Izzy's in deep shit.
Yeah.
He ate about 10 punches with
After getting
hands
rocked.
down.
Even if he would have gave Pereira 5-10 more seconds, it would have been worse for Izzy.
Yeah.
Like he was
Yeah.
just not
He was
missing.
not
It was
coming.
so accurate.
I didn't see the momentum changing once it started. I thought it was a good stoppage.
I agree.
If he would have got the hook around his head
Yeah.
and got
If
that
he would have
in,
been able to clinch it all,
Yeah, he
he
was
couldn't
trying to
grab him.
clinch, but he was like
Yeah.
putting his hands out like,
if he would have got the clinch, I could have seen it kept going, but
yeah.
he wasn't able to.
Fantastic. That was a fantastic fight.
Yeah.
I think that they should immediately run it back.
Yes,
It
I
was one of
agree.
those ones where like the guy who's now the current champion of that division. Same thing with Usman.
Yeah.
They did you see the stat too? Like Usman and Adesanya had 5 title defenses before they lost it,
crazy.
and they lost it in a fight that they were basically winning.
It's been the year of losing 5th round for champions.
It
You
has.
had Usman.
Yuri.
Yeah.
Was
yeah,
Yuri this
Glover.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glover.
It's the beginning of this year, I think.
Yeah. Bro, that was one of the best fights ever.
It's not over till it's over. I mean,
bro.
that's what's crazy about the sport. Dana was talking about last night. He's like, Izzy was going to win unanimous decision. Pereira said, hold my beer.
Yep.
Yeah. And Pereira's, he's got
That power
he's got the
is
same
crazy.
accuracy as Izzy.
Not as quick, but that power is.
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
say that no one has been able to touch Izzy like Alex touched him last night.
Right.
But Alex has that insane power
Mm-hmm.
that just like doesn't make sense power. Also, he gained 25 pounds since.
Yeah. He should be fighting at light heavyweight.
And his best tool was backing him against the octagon, and that worked beautifully for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah,
Backing
and
him down.
he put Izzy against the octagon, and
He's too
Izzy's
big
head
for him.
movement, Izzy's head movement is one of his best defenses.
Yeah.
But when you get rocked, that is not a good defense.
Yeah.
Put your hands up. You could tell that he was trying to do head movement, but he had his hands down, which is, if you're not rocked, that's fine. But whenever you just got like you got wobbly and you got backed up against the fence, bro, put every defense you can up. Like I would have been going. Obviously, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
But if I had been like a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, I'm assuming I know what an Imanari roll is, and I would have definitely have gone for like a leg,
Something,
to like something to get to the ground, something to take Pereira's hands away from him.
Yeah.
And it's easy to say that sitting here.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to do when you're in the 5th
Right.
round of a
Getting punched in
championship
the
fight
face. Yeah.
when you're going up against an absolute killer.
Yeah.
There's not much.
champion kickboxer.
There's not much, and the guy who's flatlined you before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not as much thought going into it at that time.
Yeah.
But Izzy was so close to.
So let's
to winning.
say if for whatever reason they don't give Adesanya a rematch, do you think there's anyone in middleweight that could beat Alex?
Can we bring up the middleweight?
Let me pull up the rankings.
Yeah, because I honestly don't think so. Excuse me. Israel Adesanya. Whitaker would be a good fight, but I still think that Whitaker gets shut down. But I think he would probably
Strickland.
no.
No.
Well, he already knocked out
Yeah.
Strickland.
I feel like if it's not going to be Izzy, I feel like Vittori would have the biggest chance. Just
Whitaker would be
because
pretty good, but he's so much
because
smaller.
That would be such a boring fight.
Vittori is
just
very
do not-
boring.
I do not like watching Whitaker.
I just feel like
Vittori fight.
Vittori would have the path of victory of just sitting on the dude.
I think
Costa,
I think
maybe.
I would
mean,
think Jared Cannonier or
I feel like Cannonier
or
would get
Whitaker.
rocked.
Yeah.
I feel like Cannonier would try to get in a KO fight with Alex, and Alex would just.
Well,
nah.
Cannonier's gonna wrestle him.
Yeah.
I would think, and I think that Cannonier's bigger and stronger.
There's really not that many in that division.
Yeah, I would feel like Vittori would have the biggest path. It'd be really boring, but
Bro, don't sleep on my boy Andre Muniz.
Yeah.
yeah, he's good.
I could
That-
see Pereira
that dude,
going up
I'm
fighting Yuri.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction now. I think Andre Muniz is gonna be champ.
Okay.
I mean, he mutilates people.
Yeah.
Mutilates people. His jiu-jitsu is so good, so good.
So once Izzy and Alex go back, do you think Izzy gets it back?
It's
do.
going to be the same kind of fight.
Yeah. Just,
I do think Izzy. I think Izzy wins in a rematch.
Because, I mean, 3 minutes is bad variance.
Hopefully he learns from this and trains on his jiu-jitsu a little more.
Yeah.
I think that Izzy's game plan was to beat Alex at that game.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Izzy wanted to
Prove it.
get that kickboxing win back.
Yeah.
And
The
he
first
wanted to do
career
it in a
takedown's so
kickboxing
crazy.
style.
Yeah.
First career
I think he
takedown.
was
It
just-
wasn't even that good of a takedown.
No.
It was just a takedown.
But he held him there.
He
He
did.
had control time.
Yeah.
He just didn't know what to do in the moment, I feel like.
Yeah, it was a really good fight. I'd love to watch it again.
Yeah.
And I feel like Izzy knows, like he's upset that it was stopped, but I think that Izzy knows it wasn't a bad stoppage.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen worse stoppages.
100%.
Definitely, like when Derek Lewis was like going for a takedown on the dude, and they're like stop, and it's like,
He's like, what?
What?
Yeah.
But no, I've definitely seen worse stoppages. I thought it was a good stop. Like I would have, if I was the ref, I would have stopped it then too, or at least like given it like 2 more seconds.
Yeah.
But I would have been right fucking there too.
I could see if Pereira beats Izzy the second time and he dominates the division for a little bit, him going up fighting light heavyweight, potentially.
Yeah, he definitely ain't going down in weight. That's for damn sure.
No.
Yeah, Alex at light heavyweight would be dangerous.
Yeah.
Him and Yuri though,
That's what I'm
take
saying.
my freaking
That's what I'm
money.
saying, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be such a good fight.
Alex would probably already be top 3 over there.
Yeah.
Looking at light heavyweight.
Jan would be
Yeah.
would be a good fight for him. Rakic maybe.
Yeah. It just who knows
Anthony
when he'll
Smith would
back.
be a good fight.
Yeah, Anthony Smith.
I think he
Jamal Hill is
destroys
my
him.
dude.
Yeah,
Hill.
Touch
Yeah.
him up university.
Paul Craig's moving up with the jiu-jitsu. He could probably,
Yeah.
if he got a hold of him.
I definitely think so. Here's what I think happens. I think Izzy and Alex Pereira. I think they fight again. I think one of the two of them is going to win, regardless of which one of the two of them is going to win. I think that you're going to see Andre Muniz continue to move up that division because of he can control where the fight happens. I think Marvin Vettori. I think the UFC ends up cutting him. I know he's high up in the rankings,
They're
but
not gonna cut
dude,
Vettori.
he is not a draw at all outside of Italy.
Boring.
He is
I
boring.
literally like
he wins though. I mean,
yeah, but if Marvin Vettori and Izzy, if they scheduled that fight again,
yeah.
I would
It
give
won't
a
sell
rat's
good, no.
ass about missing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I get
It'd be
that.
like,
Literally.
Yeah.
And that goes for Marvin Vettori fighting anybody. Not,
right.
I mean, his style is not exciting. It's a lot of
It's
like
just ground control.
yeah.
I mean, even that, it's not good ground control.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to see him get a little more exciting, but he wins. He does get W's. But then I think you'll see as Andre Muniz works his way up to the top. I think that there's nobody above him that can have an answer for that. Maybe Sean Strickland, because Sean Strickland he's really good at jiu-jitsu and a really good wrestler. But I think Sean Strickland trips over his own feet a lot.
Yeah.
As far as like he is too tough for his own good. I think that's why he got KO'd by Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
But I think that when you get somebody who's really good at the ground, that's the thing in the middleweight division right now is there's nobody that is really good at the ground that uses it and imposes that on other people.
Yeah.
Not saying there isn't people who are really good at the ground. Sean Strickland, obviously very, very good at the ground. Derek Brunson, great wrestler.
Yeah.
But there's not somebody who can really impose that on everybody.
Yeah.
Brunson's gonna lose his spot too, because I'm pretty sure his next fight he's retiring. So
You think so?
that spot's gonna open up. He's been talking about that.
Yeah. Which
And
if you're
middleweight-
if you're even toying with the idea of retirement, you should just do
Yeah,
it.
you're out.
There's just yeah.
You're already done.
Yeah.
Besides the champ now, who do you think is the most powerful in middleweight as far as just knockout power?
Oh, Alex Pereira.
No, I'm saying besides him.
Besides him?
yeah.
Oh, Jared Cannonier.
Cannonier.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Jared Cannonier.
I was saying Costa too.
The killer gorilla. Costa? Yeah, Costa's really
He's
strong.
another kind of Chandler
Bro, I'd
fighter.
love-
I feel like he just goes in and
Costa versus Cannonier, though.
Yeah.
Take my fucking money. I'm
Yeah.
watching that fight. But I think that Jared Cannonier would win that fight.
yeah.
Paulo Costa, for somebody who's a jiu-jitsu black belt, allegedly, I've
Yeah.
never seen him do
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
allegedly.
And he's real quick to comment on other people doing jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
He's real quick to comment on everything. He's very,
He
very
is a
active in
heel.
the Twitter
He's
world.
a very heel. His secret juice or whatever, he's
Yeah.
constantly like...
He's a troll for sure.
Yeah. That's why I'll sign in to watch him fight.
Yeah.
I really will. Yeah. That's what I think happens. I think you're going to see Andre Muniz in the next year. I think you're going to see him
I wonder who
get
they
in the
give
top
him
5
next.
at least.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's scheduled for anything coming soon.
I haven't heard anything for him.
I mean, the good part is like the fights that were like some of the best fights this year, you're going to see get ran back, like
Yeah.
Leon Edwards and
It was a good year of fights, really.
Edwards and Usman.
What the watch back the January 1st one because we made a bunch of predictions. So we'll
Yeah.
like run it back and like see where we did.
Yeah. So upcoming we have Lewis versus Spivak.
Sergey Spivak.
Spivak, yeah.
All of that. It's at 4 p.m. I'll probably watch that.
Yeah, that's
that's
our early
next
one.
weekend.
One in Orlando.
Yeah,
Thompson, Holland.
that's a good main event.
That
too.
that is a really good main event.
Wonder Boy versus Kevin Holland.
Honestly, I'm gonna give the nod to Thompson. I think he's just
He's a good fighter.
better at
Yeah.
striking. I mean, Kevin Holland is great. Don't get me wrong, but I think that Wonder Boy's gonna keep it standing, and I think he's gonna dominate it standing.
I'm gonna go Holland.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, Yuri versus Glover 2.
Yuri.
You think Yuri's gonna win?
That's like the only prediction I remember from the beginning of the year. I was like, Yuri's gonna be champ by the end of the year. So hopefully he wins, because
Facts.
if not, I'm gonna be wrong.
What do you think, Colton?
I could see it going the same way.
Really? Bro, after like watching that fight and seeing basically Glover just dominate that entire fight,
I felt like they were taking turns winning rounds. I
They
thought it
were.
was closer.
well, definitely. I felt like it was more moments, but I feel like Glover had more moments that he was
Consistent.
winning than Yuri did.
Yeah.
Yuri definitely won some moments, but if that submission hadn't happened, Glover had dominated that fight mostly.
Yeah.
He was set to get the decision.
Yeah. We all had watched him basically. If Yuri had 10 moments, Glover had 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just one of those things. Like it was. Yes, Glover definitely got hurt a couple times. But he was just, dude. For how old he is, he's so freaking resilient.
Yeah.
That was insane.
He's tough.
Yeah. And he's like farm strength, dude. It's insane.
I think like Yuri and like Alex, like they're scary prospects because they're both like under 5 fights in the UFC and they're both champions. So I'm just like going into a 5-round fight with Glover, like, you're gonna get so much experience and value out of that.
Yeah.
To where you have to be better the next
For
time
him
out.
going the full 5 is huge.
Yeah, you've already
for him.
seen it.
Yeah.
Because like
Because
that's
before
full
that,
Glover you're seeing. You don't know
before
what full
Yuri
looks
versus
like.
before Yuri versus Glover, like you never saw Yuri like go the distance with anybody,
Right.
and he was just dominating. And
Yeah.
it's like Khamzat versus Gilbert Burns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You see him get like
Right.
get
You
tested.
see him level up.
You
yeah.
finally
He
can
got
see
rocked,
him
and he
tested.
went the full, and
Yeah, I'm just thinking we haven't seen final form Yuri yet.
No.
We just saw 5 rounds of Glover. That's as good as it gets at this point in his career.
You think for Glover, so that's the end? I think he comes back and wins it.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know if he can elevate more at this point in his career. Like, I feel like that was the best, and he almost won with it. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, I feel like Yuri could still take a next step. Like, this is only like his 5th or 6th fight in the UFC.
I don't think Glover thought that Yuri was going to go for a rear naked choke.
Yeah.
And then as soon as it happened, he was like, "What the fuck?" And then
Right.
that was just it.
Yeah.
Wakes
And he
up,
was
how did I
so
get here?
exhausted. Yeah. I would lean Glover again, just because I really
gonna
think
give me
that
another
I don't
breakfast?
think that he's going to slip up. Yeah, I know, right? I still owe you coffee. And then Jared Cannonier versus
Oh, we were just talking
Sean
about
Strickland.
middleweight.
So
Cannonier's
scroll
got to
down,
win
Cole?
that, right?
Can you scroll down for me, Cole?
That's it.
Okay, well, just bring it up to the top of the screen if you don't mind.
Oh,
December 17th. Okay. Oh, right before Christmas.
Got to be Cannonier, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a
It'll be
similar.
good.
I don't know. That one's pretty. I would have a hard time picking, honestly.
I feel like it's similar to like Alex for Strickland. Like Strickland just kind of goes in.
Mm-hmm.
If he
Gets
catches
caught-
him with a good one,
yeah.
yeah, but he's probably going to get caught.
We were talking about
so-
Cannonier's hands. Like if
Yeah.
you walk in on
Yeah.
Cannonier, you're gonna get met with something.
I would probably give the slight favorite to Cannonier.
Yeah, him at middleweight's just a cheat code.
Yeah.
He do be a big fella for middleweight.
Oh, 283 is going to be in Brazil.
He's 185 for about 35 seconds.
And then 284 in Australia. Nice.
Yeah, the didn't they announce that's when they
Yeah,
haven't
that
updated
Australia
the
one's
website.
gonna be Volkanovski and Islam.
Yeah,
284.
for the lightweight.
Yeah,
That's-
Islam wrecks Volkanovski. I'm sorry.
Islam wrecks everyone.
I'm
I've been
sorry.
said this.
Volkanovski.
Smash your boy.
I think Volkanovski's going to hold his own though. I
Yeah,
really do.
he'll
I think
do good.
he'll do good for a while, but I think Islam. First of all, like honestly, when you look at the two of them, they're very close in size.
Yeah.
And Islam's just taller.
I just feel like Islam has 0 holes in his game. Like I mean, Volkanovski doesn't either, but Islam just like above average at everything.
To
If
be
not
fair
elite.
though, Volkanovski trains with one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world,
He
like
held his
top
own
5.
really well against T-City.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he
Those guillotines.
did.
man.
Did you see that video I sent you guys, where it was Brian? What's Brian's last name? Jesus
Ortega?
Christ. Ortega, yeah. Ortega is getting interviewed after that fight. And he's like, "How the fuck did that man get out of that choke?" And it cuts to a scene of Volkanovski training with Craig Jones, who's one of the literal best jiu-jitsu dudes in the world, like top 5. And Craig Jones is just constantly submitting him, and you just hear Volkanovski go, fuck, fuck. It's just like a bunch of videos,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Because he trained it.
Yeah.
dude, I would say that training with Craig Jones for your ground fighting is an incredible like
Right.
cheat code.
Yeah.
But the biggest cheat code is Islam having Khabib ringside.
It's such a cheat.
That's
code.
the biggest cheat code.
Yeah, that fight is gonna be.
Islam just carries him. What do I do, sir?
I love Volkanovski.
Smash.
Volkanovski
I
is so
love
likable.
Volk.
Yeah.
They're both awesome.
Bro, his like cooking videos he does, they
That's
crack me up.
hilarious.
Yeah, he's dude. I
But
love
that's
me
tough
some
though. Volk's
Volkanovski.
gonna be in his area. I mean, that's hype.
And he's only gotten better every fight.
He levels up as
Yeah,
champ too.
that's gonna be a great card. That's gonna be.
Well, Islam did Oliveira. I mean, he leveled up too.
'Cause I could see Volk starching him.
Do you think Oliveira makes a comeback, or do you think he just starts to go on a downslide?
I think he'll dominate.
He'll hold his own at the top.
He just won't be Islam.
He's just not going to be the champ.
He'll stay top 5. I feel
Yeah,
like.
if he does beat Islam, it would be. I feel like it would be similar to like Leon Edwards versus Usman.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
he saw a moment and he capitalized on it and he
Yeah.
beat him. And I think that it would be one of those fights they would immediately do a rematch.
I
It's
just
like,
genuinely feel like Islam has an answer for any single thing, even getting caught by something. He's just like, I
He's got the power. He's
Yeah.
got the takedowns. He's got all of it.
yeah.
I don't see anyone beating Islam in lightweight.
Bro, give me a UFC game and I'm just gonna keep like auto-generating Islam versus
Yeah.
Oliveira just to see the different ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because honestly, I feel like they are very evenly matched. But Islam's just he's got some factor in
Yeah.
him that's just.
I wonder what's next for Oliveira then, since White's already talking about Poirier versus Dariush for #1 contender. Like, I wonder who they're gonna give Oliveira next.
Like, what attribute do you think?
Because Oliveira's beat all of them.
Yeah.
What attribute do you think? I want to see Dariush versus Oliveira so bad.
That could be next.
Oh, that would be so good. What do you think is Islam's best attribute when it comes to like versus a Charles Oliveira? So Charles, obviously, to me, his best aspect is like he can get a submission like lickety split, like it's so
Yeah.
quick. I personally believe that Islam's biggest strength is actually his strength, like his physical, like
Yeah.
his grip
It's
strength.
just like mauling.
He's
When-
stocky,
when-
short.
When he gets a hold of you,
Yeah.
like there's
It's
no
over.
getting away.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's just got this insane. I would say his wrestling is what makes it. I mean, his jujitsu, and his sambo is just it's so good. But I feel like it's the combination of his wrestling, his sambo, and his jujitsu that makes him so crazy. And I feel like Oliveira has great technique and great like speed with his jiu-jitsu, but he doesn't have the strength.
Yeah.
I mean, people say he's strong as fuck.
Yeah.
Like punches super hard and stuff. But I feel like his biggest weakness is he gets knocked down easy. You know,
And
he's
he
very
accepts getting on his back.
he's very taggable.
And most people don't want to get on top of him.
He is
but
really
Islam
taggable.
didn't give a fuck.
Islam does a really good job too of once he gets somebody on the ground, like somebody long like Oliveira, is he like basically like folds them in half like a fucking taco
Yeah.
and just like holds
Yeah,
them
he
to where it's
stacked
like
them.
he takes all of the like space away from him.
Yeah.
Which is what you need when you're on the bottom. You need
It's
space.
just the
You're trying to
cheat code
create
of
space.
Khabib too, though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
those videos where like they'd say like Khabib's playing on PlayStation 2 controller.
Literally.
That cracks me up every time.
Yeah.
Bro.
Because like from Khabib's angle, he can see what the opponent's next move is. Islam might not see that because he's in it. So Khabib's like, oh, he's about to do this.
Yeah.
Do that. And he's one step
switch,
ahead.
Hold. Yeah.
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 Who do you think think's next for Poirier? Do you think it's Beneil Dariush?
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
That would
I mean,
be
Dariush keeps getting wins, so you got to give him someone like that.
Who do you think wins Islam versus Beneil Dariush?
I'm picking Islam versus anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care
At
who
this
it.
point,
That's
yeah.
facts.
You can
Yeah.
give him 2 lightweights.
Yeah, I hear
It don't matter to me. I'm going.
tag team Oliveira and
Yeah.
then Beneil Dariush.
I think my first one with y'all is like Islam's. It don't matter.
Who would win Beneil versus Oliveira? I don't know if I could pick somebody on that one.
I just feel like Oliveira's got more submission threats.
Yeah.
At that point, like Dariush might get some takedowns, but that might not be what he wants. He might be playing into Oliveira's strengths. That'd be a good fight.
That'd be a really good fight. They should, to me, they should make that the next one.
Yeah.
They should make that next for Beneil Dariush.
They haven't fought before, have they?
I think Poirier, huh? No.
Dariush and Oliveira, they haven't fought.
No. I personally, for Poirier next, I would love to see Gaethje.
That'd be a banger.
Because what was Gaethje's last fight? Was it Oliveira or was it Chandler?
Chandler.
So both of their last fights were wins against Chandler.
Yeah.
I would like to see
That'd be a good
Gaethje
one.
versus Poirier 2
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like Gaethje has leveled up so much since their first fight,
Yeah.
and he's changed the way he wants to,
And
to
Poirier
fight.
it keeps. I mean,
Yeah,
that'd be a fight of the night for sure.
The thing
that whole
makes,
division, just put anyone in the top 7 against each other.
Yeah.
It's a hit.
right, but in the same instance too, like I love Gaethje and Poirier and Chandler so much, but I feel like their only good competition in that division is each other.
Yeah, literally.
And if they go against any of the other dudes, being Islam versus Oliveira or Beneil Dariush,
Yeah.
I do not see any of them winning against any of those dudes.
Right.
Because you get those dudes that are so good against on the ground.
Islam beats everyone.
The only one that I could see potentially doing good against those people is Michael Chandler because of his wrestling. But I mean, clearly last night he got choked out by
he can hold him, he just
Poirier.
can't do too much with it.
I feel like he would be slippery.
Yeah.
But even then, you know.
I just think at Islam Bobby Green like 50 seconds. It's just like
Yeah.
there's some levels to it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's so crazy to me.
This next year is going to be a great year of fights, I'm assuming. I mean, I really like what they did this year with fights. I can't wait to see like Leon Edwards versus Usman again.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see Usman come out and wrestle the fuck out of Leon Edwards.
And then after that, it's gotta be-
I feel like Usman's going to come out and dominate.
Yeah.
Dominate
He was
Leon Edwards.
dominating. It's just he got
Yeah.
caught. He
Yeah.
was dominating.
And Leon Edwards threw that.
But then
perfect head
after
kick.
that rematch,
I
it's
thought
got to be Khamzat, right?
Going in the 5th round, I really thought Leon Edwards would give up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
And I
too.
was, and he had every right to. I
Yeah.
mean, not every right. I mean, I could understand it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was very
He caught him.
understandable.
So after that rematch, though, do you think Khamzat's next, or do you think they go Covington again?
I'd like to see Khamzat Usman after Leon Edwards and Usman go back at it, and I think you see. Didn't they schedule a Khamzat fight?
Not yet. They were talking about possibly, since they're talking about the Usman rematch with Edwards, they were talking about Covington and Chimaev. That would be
Barn burner. Dude.
Yeah.
Barn burner. The dude fucking take my money.
who do you pick?
Gotta keep going with Khamzat, I guess.
I think so too.
I mean,
That's a fight.
I don't know. I don't think I could pick one.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Just pick
like,
it doesn't go to decision.
I think that one's gonna be like a boxing fight. It's gonna be a matter of like a millisecond difference. It's gonna be
Yeah.
like somebody ducks when the other person didn't,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
gonna be the end of the fight.
you ying when you should have yinged. Yeah.
That's a good
You know,
fight.
Khamzat definitely got shown he's human when he fought Gilbert Burns. But has Gilbert and Covington fought each other?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so I don't know what that looks like either. That I think
Yeah.
what if Covington had fought Gilbert Burns, what that would look like would be a good indication of what it's going to look like versus Khamzat.
Yeah.
Covington's so good, bro.
Yeah.
That'd be a
Covington's
good
so-
fight.
If Covington fought, say if Usman couldn't fight,
Yeah.
say he gets injured and can't fight Leon Edwards, I'd say if you put Covington against Leon Edwards, I think Covington dominates Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
And becomes champ. But then I think Usman goes and fights him and wins it back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think Covington he's the
Yeah.
champ if Usman isn't.
Is Masvidal just out of the division now? I feel like no one talks about him either.
Who's that?
my point?
Who? What's his name?
Jorge.
Mossy Doll or whatever. What did you
Yes,
say?
Jorge.
I don't.
'Cause he was
I feel
top
like
3
I
for
feel like
a minute.
I think the problem is he made so much money now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I mean, when was his last W? Nate Diaz,
Yeah. For the BMF belt.
or did he get a win since then?
I just think of Ben Askren.
Yeah.
all I
That's
think of.
literally, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even view Masvidal as being active.
No.
In my head, I don't even when I
He's
when I
probably
talk
not
about
even
that
ranked. I don't know.
when we talk about the division, I honestly forgot. Is he? Can you?
His last fight was Covington, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
Covington
Covington mauled
dominated
him
him.
for five.
He might
minute
not even
rounds.
be ranked. I don't know. Because he doesn't even get talked about
No.
in the UFC
I don't
community
know.
anymore.
I don't see Masvidal. I mean, I would like. You know, what would be a good fight: Masvidal versus Leon Edwards. If Leon Edwards wasn't champ.
Yeah.
I like to see Khamzat
Like
just dominate Masvidal
stylist-
for 3 rounds. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it'd be fun. I like to see Styles go against each other.
Smash.
I just feel like
It's all fun.
Masvidal's style is just go in there and, box him.
Yeah. He's definitely more of a stand-up guy. Clearly.
Yeah.
Covington exposed him.
Yeah.
I would like to see Masvidal versus Leon Edwards because stylistically, I feel like that would be a fantastic fight.
Yeah, it would.
I think you would see a really good fight between the two of them. I honestly don't know who I'd pick. I'd probably slightly lean towards Leon,
Yeah.
but both of those dudes had fought Nate. I mean, and
Yeah.
neither of them put Nate away. You know what I mean?
I was gonna ask y'all too. Like, what's up with Nagano? Like, why haven't we seen him? Like, is it
Didn't
a
he have
contract thing?
his knee injuries, right?
Oh, is it still knee?
I think he has one more fight on his contract,
Yeah.
and I think he's not in a rush. Now that he's champ, he's not in a rush.
I want to see
fight
him
again.
and Cyril again. Run it back.
He's
I
nice.
love the
There's
heavyweights.
so much beef, bro. It's like
Yeah.
2 cows fighting, bro. It was so much. It was insane.
I just love the technicality of Cyril.
Do you think? I just want to see John Jones, man. I just want to see.
Dana
John
White
Jones.
did say last night that he'll be back in 2023. He didn't say when, but he said Jones is fighting this year, so this upcoming year.
I want to see John Jones a heavyweight, bro. Oh, it's gonna look so good.
Him versus Cyril?
No, bro.
That'd be fun.
Give me John Jones versus Ngannou. Just
Ngannou.
throw him in there, bro. His last fight was Dominic Reyes.
Yeah.
John Jones' last fight was Dominic
Yeah.
Reyes. I would love to see heavyweight John Jones against Cyril, or I mean, literally, but anybody in the
Derek
top
Lewis
three.
would be funny.
Well, not as interested in that, to be honest with you. That's like, I don't know. I'm not as interested.
I just
in
love
that.
Cyril because John Jones does it all, and then Cyril doesn't take damage either. I just feel like that'd be a cool clash.
Yeah, I'd like to see John Jones versus Cyril. Cyril.
Cyril.
Lucky Charms.
Yeah, Lucky Charms versus John Jones, but no, or Francis Ngannou or Stipe.
Yeah.
I feel like any of those fights, regardless of who owns the belt at that time,
Yeah.
that's a great matchup.
John Jones calls out Stipe like once a week on Twitter. That's who he wants.
That's who he wants.
Yeah.
He wants Stipe over Ngannou.
Yeah, he calls out Stipe all the time.
Really? Do it, bro. Sign that.
Which
sign
I'm
that
not calling it
contract.
Ngannou. I don't blame the dude.
Right. Well,
I don't blame him one bit.
To be fair, I feel like Stipe is much more of a good opponent for John Jones than Ngannou is, because I feel like Ngannou, as good as he is, I don't feel like he is as well rounded as John Jones or as Stipe.
Yeah.
And maybe
I
that's
agree
why
with
it intrigues, because Stipe, he's only lost to Ngannou that one time when he
Yeah.
got KO'd, right? And then besides that, he was basically dominating the heavyweight division.
Right.
And I feel like that's what intrigues John Jones more, is like Ngannou's got one win as far as the championship goes,
Right.
and it was a knockout, which is insane, but
Yeah.
you know, still as well rounded as John Jones is versus as well rounded as Stipe is at heavyweight. I feel like that would be a great tune-up fight for John Jones to get back in there and then go against Ngannou. Just Ngannou's so massive.
Just all that meat is coming at you. Full
Ngannou's
force.
so big, dude. Like, I don't. Francis Nurmagomedov.
Yep.
All right, Dylan. Anything else you want to talk about?
I'm good, man. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Yeah, man.
Faux show.
Obviously, we'll do more of these in the future. I mean, I enjoyed. Thank you for letting me rant for a while at the beginning of this podcast.
That's okay.
Hopefully, some people that
Anytime.
like the UFC stuff will listen to it and get to the UFC stuff at the end. But I need to get back in the swing of it.
Always fun to talk it out.
Yep. I enjoy this. I appreciate you both for coming over and doing this. I am
man.
exhausted still from being up at 2 a.m.
Yep.
and watching fights.
Hey, at least they ended at like 1:10. They ended pretty early.
Yeah, that is pretty early.
It does. It to me, it doesn't matter. There was a lot of finishes. I don't think I saw one decision yesterday.
I don't think there was any on the main card.
No.
No. And when I showed up, it was all finishes.
Yeah.
It was a great night to watch fights.
Yeah.
It really was. I mean, even to say that Carlo Esparza's fight was good.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
League, man.
That means it's a
Same
really
league.
good night of fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
I just want to say too that I had the picks that I had, that I picked. I picked Dustin Poirier and Alex Pereira. I was right.
You did pick Claudio Puelles to beat Dan Hooker, though.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Bro, it almost never All right. All right. I'll see you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right.
This episode of Somehow We're Adults is over, but if you'd like to support the podcast, you can subscribe to one of the levels of the Patreon, where we will release bonus episodes that can't be found anywhere else. Any of the money that we get from the Patreon would be used to upgrade old equipment, as well as get new gear so that we can make the best podcast for you to tune into. You can also follow the podcast Instagram at Somehow We're Adults, where I share clips and content about the podcast, and the link in the bio will take you to any of the Somehow We're Adults pages. I encourage you to check out another one of the episodes if this is your first time listening, and if you're a repeat listener, thank you for your support. I love making the podcast, and I hope you tune in for future episodes of Somehow We're Adults.